Honorable CEO, Chairperson, and my fellow audience. Standing before you is Soldati Entle, and as the chairperson for the preparatory committee, I say on Tatu Nelson Mandela's words, it always seems impossible until it is done. The national dialogue brought about by government sets on a central role in laying the groundwork for a large-scale, citizen-led initiatives aimed at addressing the country's most pressing challenges and shaping a shared vision for the future. As chairperson of the preparatory committee, our primary task is to allow all citizens, non-governmental organizations, and businesses to engage in conversation that will address the country's most pressing situations. Through this process of inclusivity, dialogues are taking place across all provinces, districts, wards, and sectoral levels over a period of 6 to 9 months. A group of 50 organizations has been identified, and although some political parties and organizations have withdrawn, we will continue. It aims to consolidate all relevant findings into a People's Compact, a 30-year vision, and a plan for lifting South Africa from its current situation. The task team's main objective here today is to enlighten the audience on how, working alongside the Eminent Persons Group, the National Economic Department, and Labour Council, we can bring about achievable solutions. Our speakers will elaborate more. Speaker number 2 will speak about a non-governmental organization that assists the poorest and devastated communities in their hour of need, focusing on how at grassroots level services can be rendered in order to help those who need help. Speaker number 3 will speak about social cohesion and nation building, taking us through his journey from being a small township boy roaming around the streets of Sweden to becoming the world's first black captain, to lifting the World Cup not only once but 2 times. And the 4th speaker will speak about gender-based violence, taking us through her life of being a victim and a disabled person, telling us how she dealt with this form of exploitation. And ladies and gentlemen, last but not least, the chairperson of the steering committee will conclude our presentations, give realistic conclusions, and lead us in a vision where South Africa can be taken to the next 30 years of unity, respect, equality, and love. I now hand over to my second speaker.
The world is nothing without us. Ladies and gentlemen, before you is Sonia Nhlanhla, the founder of the organization, Gift of the Givers. I grew up in Pietermaritzburg and became a medical doctor. I was inspired by a spiritual leader to create entity and serve humanity selflessly. That is how my organization started in 1992. My organization became a South African non-governmental organization and disaster relief group stretching beyond the South African borders. It built houses in Khayelitsha and aided migrant families. In 2025, my organization aided Mthatha during the natural disasters, providing hot meals, blankets, and hygiene packs to the unfortunate families. Research and rescue teams were also deployed. Although the water mafias tried to intervene, my organization managed to pull through and serve water to the much-needed areas. In 2024, I was adopted as one of the AmaXhosa King's son in Tebe in the Eastern Cape. The government should try and equip ourselves with the operations that my organization provides. We have volunteers that are available on a 24-hour basis. The mobilized team should attend the crisis immediately when the disasters occur. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, through empathy, I created a legacy that continues to inspire others to act with kindness and generosity. So, what does this mean, ladies and gentlemen? This means you don't need fancy titles or millions of followers. You just need courage, compassion, and a reason bigger than you. Because if a medical doctor from Pietermaritzburg, which is me, managed to create a global movement in a small corner office, then you sitting in that chair, you have more power than you think. Let's create a society that values, respect, and treat each other with dignity. I'll now be proudly handing over to speaker number 3.
Unity is strength. Where there's teamwork and collaboration, wonderful things can be achieved. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Standing before you is Jeffrey Duran. It's an honor to stand before you and speak about a topic that lies at the heart of our shared futures, social cohesion and nation building. Our nation is rich in diversity. We come from different cultures, beliefs, and historical backgrounds. But diversity alone does not build a strong nation. Unity does. As Archbishop Tutu once said, my humanity is built into yours, for we can only be human together. Social cohesion means more than just tolerance. It means a sense of belonging and creating a country where every person, regardless their backgrounds, feels valued, heard, and respected. Sport was always regarded as a glue to keep our nations together. I am the first black captain of the Springboks. It is not just a symbol of sporting excellence, but also of unity and hope for South Africa. My personal journey from growing up in a township of Zwide to lifting the World Cup in 2019. My foundation has 4 main keys that needs to be looked at in South Africa. It is food security, education, sport development, and of course, gender-based violence. These 4 main keys need to be looked at in South Africa, though this is our most challenging objects and conclusions. In conclusions, judges and fellow citizens, leaders is not where you come from. It's about lifting each other up, and together we rise. I now hand over to speaker number 4.
Let's rise like the ash. Let's rise like phoenix from the ashes. Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I am Tyra Ellison, standing before you. Me as Mia Luro, diagnosed with a hearing loss at the age of 1. Having received an implant a year later has changed my life. It steered my personal journey, transforming my life. I became passionate about helping others in similar challenges. Due to my hearing loss, I attended a special school whereby I was always at an disadvantage, being bullied, feeling unsafe, and excluded. I chose to change my life. I participated in the Miss South Africa beauty pageant, in which it opened my eyes to rise above my circumstances. The competition was very difficult for me because most of the time I could not hear what was being said. They didn't use sign language, they didn't use a braille to communicate with me. I had to find out myself what was being said. However, the competition opened many doors for me. In February 2025, due to my title, I managed to secure a major partnership with the Scamp Foundation called The Gift of Hearing. They are giving implants to individuals who could not afford them. It also includes post-surgery, therapy, and support. Due to this competition, I saw that I became a powerful symbol of resilience. Gender-based violence is a reality in South Africa. Most of the time, our woman is being victimized. Every second that goes by, our woman is being victimized. I plead with the government to ensure that the police is on task with their jobs, arriving on time in case of emergency. I also plead with the government to seriously consider adding sign language to the existing official languages so that the able and the disabled can have a better communication and understanding. So, ladies and gentlemen, gender-based violence, mayiphele namhlanje ngoku ngeli xesha. We are stronger together. I now hand over to speaker number 5.
Distinguished guests, colleagues, and fellow citizens, I greet you all in the spirit of Ubuntu. My name is Chakanyuka Beloved, as the chairperson of the steering committee of the National Dialogue, all the way from the beautiful province of the Eastern Cape. And ladies and gentlemen, hear me when I say I do not blame you for expecting this process to be legendary, because we do come from the home of legends. My role is predominantly to guide and coordinate this nationwide citizen-led process aimed at shaping our country's future. We gather from the discussions by our eminent persons group that the challenges facing South Africa are at the heart of our nation's problems. Poverty and hunger remain one of the harshest forms of inhumanity. As Nelson Mandela once said, overcoming poverty is not a gesture of charity, it is an action of justice. We must build a nation that can overpower gender-based violence and the femicide that hold our country hostage, and build a social cohesive country for all citizens to live in. Speaker number 2 shows us how an inspired individual can set up a national and international humanitarian organization that are helping people worldwide. His organization, The Gift of the Givers, are the first respondents in natural disasters, water crises, and poverty-stricken communities in South Africa. His motto truly stands out that the best among the people are those who benefit mankind. In his words, this is not a quote, it is a challenge. Serving others is the highest form of success. We must work towards the eradication of poverty. South Africa cannot survive in a society that is unequal. We must take a stand together with the government towards the defeat of poverty, hunger, and inequality. The National Dialogue is a platform for us to highlight new innovations and to solve our country's crisis together. Speaker number 3, True Sports promotes hope. His iconic leadership on the sport field has been a symbol of unity and nation building. His foundation has inspired the whole of South Africa as he moves towards empowering the youth, feeding the poor, and building valuable infrastructure that empowers South African communities. The government must see the way that this non-governmental organization reaches out to those who are less fortunate than us and put sustainable programs in place. Speaker number 4 proved that anyone can reach their highest level within the South African society. A disability does not define you. Our society is rife with people who are abused, bullied, and discriminated against due to their sexual orientation. This speaker shows how nation building takes place against all odds. She is a beacon of hope, reminding us that regardless of our background or circumstances, we can achieve and overcome. The National Dialogue intends to help those who are abled and disabled to balance the inequality. A vision without an action remains a dream. But a vision with action, oh, that's reality. Can I ask, are there any dreamers here? Are there any dreamers here? I have a message for you. Let's stop dreaming and start living. Each of us has within us the capacity to serve, inspire, and to lead with integrity. As we reflect on this extraordinary path, we are called not only to act, but to put policies in place to assist nation building. Together, let's become stewards of humanity, respond with courage, cultivate hope wherever despair threatens to take root. Ladies and gentlemen, the Eastern Cape.
Together.